Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Raphael Gab-Momoh. I think I'm going to do this in a very unusual day today because in a very unusual way. I'm still waiting. I'm still deciding if the event should be postponed or not because my moderator is not here. And the person that is going to administer the quiz is also not here. Uh, so yeah, let's see. Uh, in the next in the next 5 minutes, I'll know if I should proceed. Oh, she's here. Hello, Chioma. Good evening.
Hello, Raphael. Good evening. Can you,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
So just give me a
Can me? Hello.
just give me a minute.
Good evening, everyone. You're all welcome to today's section. I hope you all had a great day. Please type in the comment section where you're joining us from. I Jay, you. Please drop where you are joining us from. We are waiting. Mayowa, I can see you. You're welcome. Please drop where you're joining us from in the comment section. Guys, please let's wait to join us. So, topic for month, you're welcome for joining. Wow. Okay, our topic for today is manage event sources. Manage event sources to process, notify, and take action in response to events. And our speaker for today is Mr. Raphael. So Mr. Raphael is an experienced cloud engineer with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and systems industry. So skilled in engineering, back-end web development. So, Mr. Raphael, you are welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening,
Can you
everyone.
hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. So, good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry for the little delays and the glitch, but we are off to a good start. And I'm sure that the remaining few minutes that we have left would use it. We'll use it judiciously well so that you can at least understand the topic at hand. So, I'm just going to proceed to share my slide. I'm going to be talking about how you manage event sources so that you use them to process, to notify, and take action in AWS. Okay, so the very first thing, yes, if we say we want to talk about event sources, what is an event? Okay, so we need to understand what an event is in AWS before we proceed. So an event is the observation of an action, occurrence, or change of state. Event can be planned or unplanned, and they can originate from internally or external to a workload. So simply put, okay, you have something that you have a workload. Okay, something is happening to it. The way you placed it initially, that's not how it is. Something is happening to it. You want to be able to see what is happening. There's something that you're expecting of that event. So that's what that's what an event is basically about. Okay, so it's an observation of an action, occurrence, or change of state. Let's say, for example, you put you pick ice, a block, a yeah, you carry ice from your fridge, and you keep it on your table. If you're not careful, within the next, not if you're not careful, definitely within the next few hour, it will melt, it will change, it will melt. So that's typically what we are looking into with regards to AWS. Okay, so I hope that that is clear. So now, if we say
an event is a change of state, observation, and all that and all that. The way we have said it, what do you consider as an event source in AWS? So an event source is a service or application that generates events, okay? Something that makes events to happen. Remember what we said that an event is at the beginning, okay? But something that makes it to happen is an event source. Events can be generated by user, by systems, by devices. For example, if you for example, are doing anything in AWS, definitely that thing will generate an event. So a simple example of it would be uploading something to an S3 bucket, okay? A system generating a log message, or a device sending a sensor message out. That will be an event source. But in the next slide, I will go through a list of popular event sources in AWS. Okay, so one of them is IoT devices. Okay, so I have a practical project on this that I'll be talking about later on. So in IoT devices, you see sensors, smart devices, and IoT endpoints. You will use all this to generate a wealth of data, okay? And we monitor and collect and process this data for various purposes. Okay, so there was a very interesting project that I worked on. Okay, I'm not going to be very detailed because I don't know who is listening to me. I don't want to get in trouble. But there's this organization that had one of their key staff kidnapped. Okay, they had one of their key staff kidnapped, and they have so many white people in the organization. So the idea came that, okay, let's do something. They have about over 4,000 vehicles in the whole country. So they decided, okay, let's install sensors in this all the vehicles. So they installed sensors in all the vehicles, and these sensors were generating events, okay, sending to the cloud, and so that they take these sensors and analyze. So there are certain places that have been restricted for the staff of the organization not to go. So if you are driving any of the vehicles to those places, because of the information being generated, there's somehow there's an office that will know, and the office will alert another person, and you'll be called to action. And if you're not responding, someone will go and meet you and pick you up from there. So with that in place, they were able for since that project was implemented, and up till now, till I left the place, okay, up till I left the organization, because my organization was managing that project for them, there was no other incident of kidnapping because of the informations that were going to the cloud and they were extract. So I hope that you get that. That was just a little story to give us a background information about event sources and how IoT was able to generate massive amount of data, and intelligence was, information was gathered, and that information helped to save lives and helped to prevent further kidnapping. Okay, so now the next one we see on the screen is cloud services. Okay, cloud platform emit events related to resources and services. Okay, we can integrate everything we see with event sources that it enable dynamic scaling, monitoring, and other management. So we also have API as event sources, applications and API as event sources. We also have databases as event sources, and so on and so forth. So the list is so many. Okay, anything that would generate data and we can use for other purposes definitely will be a perfect event source. So let's check the next one. Okay, so now if we say that we talked about what an event is, what event sources are. Okay, so what is an event-driven architecture? So you must look at it from this perspective. So an event-driven architecture is a software design pattern that uses user event. Okay, so that uses user events to decouple services and applications. Okay, event-driven architecture allows services to communicate with each other asynchronously. Like I told you earlier on with the case of that IoT project. Okay, so there's communication between each of the vehicles with with the cloud, okay? And from there, they were being managed, monitored and all that, okay? So an event-driven architecture is a pattern that allows different components, different applications to communicate with each other so that there is a seamless flow, okay? So I hope that you get that. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, so now, this is a very straightforward lecture. We only have a few couple of slides, so I'm straightforward because the time is fast spent. I'm just going to go direct. So if I have talked about what an event is, okay, I mentioned what event sources are, okay, then what is so I also gave examples of event sources. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is how do you manage event sources in AWS? Okay, so now we have different ways of managing them. Typically, like any other cloud platform, you have the cloud console, you have CLI, then you have SDK, and this is a general across all cloud. So typically in AWS, I'm just going to use a round approach. We usually use Event Bridge. Event Bridge is the most popular way to do it, especially using the cloud console. So you're going to go to Event Bridge, then choose your event source. Then after that, you're going to create new source, click on create event source, then select event type, and just follow the instruction. It's actually straightforward. Unfortunately, I can't use my company AWS account because I don't have my personal one, but I just gave a rough overview. Okay, so let me move to the next one. This is the general guide, but I listed here how to do it using the CLI. So this is a little bit bigger now. So the very first thing you will do, you run the command AWS Event Bridge list event sources. You can list all the sources. Then the next thing is you can use the CLI to create with this command AWS Event Bridge create event source, then the name of the event source, the type of the event source with other option. Okay, so there's this command I added, AWS events activate event source dash name. So if I put this in my AWS console, it should run AWS event activate event source dash name dash type dash the event source, assuming I call it Lana. Okay, so then the next thing will be to update the existing event sources. We can do that running the command AWS events update event source name type and also option, and they are also very, very easy to remove. AWS Event Bridge delete event source with the name. Okay, so you see that basically you use AWS Event Bridge to do all this. Okay, so it's actually not a difficult thing. So if you have, do I have any question? I can see the chat window. If you have a question, you can ask before I move to the next slide. Do I have a question? No, so I'm going to move on. Okay, so generally, so I'm going to speak about it in the general context. Okay, so now once we have created an event source, we use Event Bridge to route events to the target source. Okay, so now target sources can be Lambda functions, EC2, or other AWS services. Okay, now 3 other things we need to look at. To process events, you use Lambda functions. That is actually very, very important. And as you all know, a Lambda function is a serverless compute service that you can use to run code without provisioning. Okay, so to process events, we've said that you use Lambda functions. Then secondly, to notify users of events, we use AWS S&S. Okay, and now as we might have already know, S&S is a public subscriber messaging service that you can use to send notifications to email. Okay, now the third most important thing in this flow is how to take actions on events. So you can use a combination of Lambda function, S&S, and other AWS services to take action. For example, you could use Lambda function to process an event from S3 bucket, then use S&S to send notification to a user. It's actually straightforward and easy to do. I wish I can use my my AWS account to show you all this, but the process is actually straightforward. Let's move on and see what else we have. So a use case, okay? So I mentioned earlier about the project that I worked on, that the client wanted all their vehicles to have, you know, this monitoring system where you don't go beyond a certain part of the city, or you don't go to cities that are out of limits. You know, if you are about to go, there are things that will send notifications, and you will be flagged as, you know, in danger. And if they call you, you refuse to come, someone will actually there is a ready strike force that will jump in on their vehicles and go and rescue you, because you know that that organization was actually trying to prevent kidnapping, number one. They were actually also trying to save the lives of their staff. Okay, so that was the easiest way they could think of, and it really worked for them. Okay, so you can use an event source mapping to connect an AWS SNS, an AWS simple storage service bucket to a Lambda function. Okay, when a new object is uploaded to the S3 bucket, AWS will invoke the Lambda function to process the object. So Lambda function can then process the object in a way that you need, such as resizing the image, converting the video to a different size, or even transcribing. Okay, so that is an easy use case. That's an easy use case that we can take a look at. So I'm gonna move on to the next one, and let's see what other things. So I think that this is the last slide. What are some of the benefits of managing event sources in AWS? So number one, scalability. An AWS event source can scale and handle any volume of events. So like I told you earlier on, those people had about 4,000, about 3,000 to 4,000 vehicles, if not more than that. And with this, they were able to manage all the events. Anything that was coming from those vehicles, they were able to manage all at the same time. Okay, so reliability. AWS event sources are highly reliable, and they are durable. They are flexible. AWS event source can be used to trigger a wide variety of serverless applications. They are also very cost effective. AWS event sources are cost effective, as you can pay. Just like the typical rule of the cloud, you pay for only what you use. So I think this is where I'm going to stop. I've just given you a high-level overview of what an event is, what are event sources. I gave you an example of event sources. I gave you the workflow. I gave you how to create it using the CLI. I gave you how to create it using the Cloud Console. And now, lastly, we're talking about the benefits. Okay, so thank you for listening. We're going to run a simple quiz that tests some basic knowledge about all that we've said so far. So I'm going to leave the floor to Chioma. Chioma, can you share the quiz link so that we can proceed with the quiz? Hello, Chioma.
Can you hear me?
Yes, share the quiz link so that we can.
Okay, so much for the insightful section, Mr. Raphael.
No problem. Paste it into your browser, and I think share your screen. That will do.
Okay. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
No, Chioma, we cannot see your screen. Okay, maybe I'll share mine to help you out. Let's see how this would go. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so the link. Okay, so the link is showing. I think we will just paste this and into the chat window. I'll paste this into the chat so that they can.
Mr. Raphael, can you see my screen, Mr. Raphael?
I can't see, but I'm okay. I was sharing, but I'm not seeing your screen, Chioma. Can you try again?
Where do I've
Can you try
pasted, so I should
again?
paste it in the browser, right?
Then share your screen. You're not sharing. Okay, let me help you to share. Okay, let me help you to share. I'm gonna take the link and share in the WhatsApp. I mean, in the chats of the meeting, so that they can participate. Okay, so this is the link that we have. I think Shama is going to share the link with you. Are you guys seeing the? Okay, so I've sent. Okay, I can't post to some. Um. Okay, let me see if someone can come and help us out here. Uh,
Mr. Raphael, can you see the link? The link to the quiz.
the link is in the message box, but yeah, I'm sharing my screen. I believe that they can see it. Okay, this is okay, so audience.ahaslice.com. It ends with okay, audience.ahaslice.com /170 VLLQMDQ.
Because I don't try.
Please do register if you can see the screen. If you okay, so you guys are obviously not seeing the link. Hello, Chama.
Yes, Mr. Raphael.
Uh, okay, so let me call the link for them. It is https colon / ahaslights.com. Okay, so it ends with 58JIJ. 58JIJ. Yes, please copy it and paste in the comment section if you can do that. If you have access to the YouTube. Okay. Okay, so I don't know how we're gonna do this. Um, so, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're having some technical errors. Okay, I'm going to try to call the link out again. All you just need to do, if you can figure it out, just click on join the game. Okay, so it is https colon / audience.ahaslice.com slash. Okay, so okay, ahaslice.com/58jij. ahaslice.com. Oh, good. Okay, someone is in. Someone is in, but how to manage as an admin? Okay, so let me stop sharing. Just hold on. There's someone is supposed to come and manage it for us. Okay, I think we might not we might not continue with the quiz. We might not continue with the quiz, guys. So sorry for this. We're having some technical challenge. Someone else was supposed to come and help us manage that. Okay, so I don't know how we're gonna do this, but I'm very sorry. I think that we're gonna close the meeting here. Um, uh, Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry. We're not going to be able to continue with the quiz because of the little technical challenges that we're having. But I hope that I've been able to pass a message to you. The little things that we talked about were how to manage event sources. And the very first thing I talked about was what an AWS event is. I mentioned that anything, a change of state, an observation of an action will be an event. Okay, and it could be planned or unplanned. I gave you an example of an ice block that you take from your fridge. You look at for over 1 hour, you see that it changes. Okay, so a change of state. Then also, I went ahead. I told you what an event source is. Okay, anything that generates event is an event source. Okay, we looked at a user uploading something to a S3 bucket and generating something would be an event source. So I gave you examples of different event sources. I mentioned IoT, and I was excited about this particular one because I had already implemented a project, a high technical project using this one, and it helped to save lives. Okay, so yeah. I also talked about cloud sources, how cloud sources is an event source. I also made mention of applications and API and also databases. Okay. Then again, okay, so we're going to continue with the quiz. Luckily, Promise is here, so it's going to help us to administer the quiz. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have the link, if you have the link already, yes, please continue. Please stay on. Promise is helping us to administer the quiz. Thank you very much. Let's continue with our quiz.
Can you hear me? Okay. It's time for us to the quiz section. So the first, okay. Okay, the second question is, okay, Ollis took the first position. Congratulations, Olix. And for the second question, we have, which of the following is a type of event source in AWS? Options. All of the above. Same Olix again. Wow, you are doing well, Olix. Then the third question is, what is the purpose of an event source mapping? Okay, the first option is to connect an event source to a target, to filter events, to transform events, and all of the above. Wow, can see so many reactions. Some people are laughing. Some are crying. Ah, why are you crying? Hey, 10 seconds to go. 9, 8, 1. Time's up. Oh, oh, so many people failed the question. Wow, Olix again. Eh? Hey, Olix. Baba Blue has beaten you. Oh. Hey, he has beaten you. Hey. Question 4. Which of the following is the benefit of managing event sources in AWS? We have scalability, reliability, all of the above, flexibility. I hope we all get this question. Thirty-nine, 37 seconds. Oh, why are you crying? 19 seconds, 18 seconds to go. So many people are crying. Is the question difficult? Hey, time's up. Oh, so many people got it. Everybody got the question. Wow, Baba Blue again. Hey, it must be a genius. All leaks doing now. Hey, don't allow Baba Blue to beat you. Question 5. Which of the following is an example of using an event source to trigger a serverless application in AWS? The first option is all of the above. Second, creating an S3 bucket and Lambda function to process S3 objects. Creating an Amazon DynamoDB tabs and Lambda function to process. Creating an Amazon CloudWatch alarm and Lambda function to process. Let's know who is going to get this question, whether it's Baba Blue or Olix. Oh, so many people are crying. Why now? Hey. 13 seconds to go. Time's up. Wow, only 3 people got the question right. Others failed it. Okay, let's see who the winner is. Woo! Baba Blue is the winner. Wow, winner is Baba Blue. Congratulations, Baba Bala Blue. Not even Bala Blue. Wado. Congratulations. You did extremely well. Olix, so sorry. I thought you would have carried the first position. So sorry. So, Blue, we would like you to send us your details, send us your LinkedIn profile, email address, phone number, and Twitter handle to awscloudsecwestafrica@gmail.com. Send in your details as soon as possible. So this brings us to the end of today's section. Thank you so much for joining us. Also follow us on our social media link at h3/AWS Security West Africa. Thanks for joining us in today's section. You can always channel to rewatch this section. Thanks for your time. Thank you, Mr. Raphael.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, guys.